Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching IAllegedly, and got a good one for you today. Just stopped by Orange, California to feed the geese. There's a ton of geese out here today. So much to talk about with the economy, but car repos are exploding, guys. Very bad sign for the economy, and it's staggering the amount of people that are getting their cars repoed right now. And we're going to cover that and a bunch of other things in the national news. Before I get into it, please take a second. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget, if you want more access to me, there is Patreon. And we also have an email list that you can sign up for. I love this park. It's just so nice. It brings up all these fond memories when I was a kid. But beautiful day out here. Plus, don't forget, guys, Webull, last chance for Webull. And that is, if you sign up for a free stock traded account with Webull, they give you 2 free shares of stock. If you put any money into the account, a penny, they will give you 4 shares of stock that could be worth $12,600. If you want to buy the Google split before it happens, do it on Webull, guys. Okay? So let's get into it. It is absolutely staggering the number of car repos that are happening. Think about this. The average car price just hit $47,000. And that's insane, guys. People cannot afford this. Now, here's the thing that's staggering about this is that people go out and you can't buy a jalopy. You can't buy a used car. And I don't understand that. I don't understand the idea of having a payment. The greatest day in my life was when I paid off my car the last time and had no car payment. It really was a liberating day because I was like, oh, I'm always gonna have a car payment. No, I don't have to have a car payment. Pay cash for a car and don't buy something that costs $47,000. So there's that. Now, here's the thing. When you go to these auto auctions, which happen all the time, and they're basically monthly, I talked to car dealers a year ago and they were saying, Dan, there's such a shortage of cars right now at these car auctions. We're seeing, where we would normally see 300-400 cars, we're seeing less than 100, which is a huge difference when you go to an event that's month to month that's in your industry. Now, flash forward to today, and the biggest percentage, think about this, the biggest percentage of cars at the auto auction are used cars that somebody bought recently and are financing to the moon. And the thing about this is that people, because they don't necessarily have good credit, went out and financed these cars to the hilt. So they went out and got, oh, what's the interest rate? What's the payment? Oh, can you take it a couple years longer? Yeah. And again, instead of sitting down and being fiscally responsible and not financing something, or financing something with a higher payment for less term so you have equity in the car, people didn't do that. They couldn't afford to do that. So you're seeing a rash of people that are getting their cars repoed right now. And the biggest problem with this is that the alternative financing sources, I'm telling you guys, I've been broke and I've had no money and I've had to do things I didn't want to do financially, like have a car that was paid off and do what they call auto pawn, where they gave me money and then you have a car payment. Okay, sounds simple. You're financing an asset. That's great. Well, here's the thing. On the 31st day, if you're late, they start looking for the car. And I've had this and I've experienced this, and that it is horrible because, hey, this is where you live, we're going to send the guy. And then they put incentives on the car for the car repo guys so that they come out and they repo the car faster. Sick, okay? So guess what? You have to pay. You have to borrow money from friends. You got to do whatever you can do to get that paid off. So whenever you do this, if you have an ounce of sense, you go, I will never, ever put myself in this position again, okay? Now flash forward, things happen, people have to do different things. Right now, they're going out and they're borrowing this money at really high interest rates from these predatory lenders that are, taking cars that they may not even be the best cars, but they're financing them to the hilt. And again, the last 6 months on this channel, since the first of the year, all we've talked about is the money that they are paying these people for these cars. People are turning cars in that are 10 years old and they're giving them $10,000 over book. They're giving them crazy figures to get cars into these dealerships to get inventory. And what do? Sell those cars to unsuspecting people or suspecting people, suspicious people, suspects. prospect, suspect, whatever you call them, okay, where these people were suckered into getting these payments, okay? So now car guys are going to reach out and say, they knew what they were signing, Dan. How dare you say that? You slam car guys. No, I just slam the uneducated for doing something stupid. We've all done it. And hopefully you learn from your lessons or your friends' lessons or family members, and you vow to never do that again. Now, with these cars, you're seeing some really shady stuff. You're seeing cars get repoed right away. You're seeing cars get sold quicker than ever when they go to repossession. Hey, listen, my wife and I came up with the money. Car's gone, sir. And we also lost $3,000 on what you owed for the car, so you got to pay us $3,000, and you don't have a car. How fair is that? Though doesn't matter. It's reality. So the other thing out of Chicago, and this is insane, is that there are car financing places that are very unscrupulous that are adding kill switches to cars. Now, the kill switches were designed for safety and certain reasons to have, but the dealers, the predatory lenders have control of these kill switches. So basically they're making your car a big paperweight in front of your house. Now, the lawsuits and the potential class action lawsuits from these lawyers are arguing, wait a second, if you in fact turn on the kill switch of a car, you've basically repossessed the car, because the car could be, the location may not have changed. It may be in my garage, it may be hidden where I parked it, but you can't use the car. Just pay us and we'll turn it back on. And people are like, we don't have the money right now. Now, here's the thing. For the last 2 years, this grew bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, the car dealerships are saying, we don't care about getting the cars, guys. You know, the car shut off. Pay us, and you can have the car turned back on. And that's not what people want. People want a useful vehicle. They want to use it and get a job and try to pay their bills and try to pull themselves out of this. Now, whether you believe that or not, this is happening. But you're seeing lawyers, and I'm sure I'll have lawyers reach out in regards to this and clarifying what people did and what the dealerships did and what these unscrupulous lenders did. But that's exactly what they're doing. These guys are feeding all these ducks. Really nice. Little kid looks like he's having a good time. But guys, this is the shape of things to come. This is, let's say it's the start of the third inning. A lot of baseball left, guys. And you're going to see things done differently than you have in the past. I had lunch today with a really brilliant businessman, really successful guy. He's done a bunch of different things, owns real estate, and he's looking for different investments and companies to invest in. And we walked out to our cars. You know, we were talking about what he drove, and this guy's loaded, okay? Why do you drive this car? Well, what's wrong with my Honda? Nothing, but why do you drive this and not something brand new? Well, do I need a car payment, Dan? And we were talking about the $47,000 car. No, but again, I could drive anything. The AC on this thing works beautifully. It's got 4 doors. You know, I don't care how many miles it has on it. I don't care the age of the car, because it's in great shape, and I don't care about the flash. But again, this guy's looking at real estate. We're talking about fourplexes and things and places he's going to go to purchase and companies he's investing in over the course of the next year, and could care less what he drove. And again, this is why this cat's rich. It's that simple. It's that mentality of securing his future. Now, this guy, if he didn't work another day, wouldn't have to earn another dime. That's the thing. But he's always got stuff on his mind and what he wants to do. But getting debt and buying things for flash are not in this guy's wheelhouse at all. Not at all. And we need to live that way. Now, when my brother got me to pay my bills off and change the way I did things, gosh, what peace of mind is that? And getting rid of stuff, you know, getting rid of credit card debt just because I had it. I mean, I could afford to pay it off. I just had it. And he's like, why? And I told this guy that story, and he's like, yeah, it's a great way to live. People should do that because you don't know what's going to happen. And Dan, if you believe, which I do, that these banks are going to have serious problems and they're going to shut down, then you need to believe that you should not be in debt right now to the banks. Okay? Now, you have to have a bank. You have to have a relationship with the bank. Maybe you need to finance your car. I'm not saying you need to be rich and independently wealthy. The wealthiest people in the world, and this guy agreed with me today, were the people that rent right now, the people that do not have a house payment, the people that have a landlord that's decent, that they can rent from and have their bills in order. Those are the richest people. He says the richest Americans are those people right now because they're living a lifestyle of freedom. Okay? Now you can sit there and say, I rent my 2-bedroom apartment. It sucks. Okay? Maybe it does. But the point is you have all the financial freedom in the world because you're not tied to that house right now. And if you don't believe that houses are going to go down, you're kidding yourself. This guy believes that they're going to go down. He's looking at apartments. He's looking at fourplexes and things like that. Now, JP Morgan. One thing I absolutely love that people do is the all-knowing. The people that write me and say, you know, you're an imbecile, I'm going to use your word, Dan, and you're an imbecile, and you don't understand that these banks are making so much money hand over fist, and they're just killing it right now, and you're talking about how they're going to go out of business. Let's look at JP Morgan today. They announced their earnings, and they're eliminating stock buybacks right now. So with that being said, guys, well, isn't JP Morgan making all this money? No. They put together $428 million to protect itself against potential bad loans. Why? Why? Because the writing is on the wall for the banks. And if you don't think that these banks are going to have major problems with loan defaults, with car repos, with bad real estate, you're just foolish to think that. This is the beginning of the end of a very serious economic time right now. And the realtors that are out there that don't have the experience of other realtors that think that everything's just going to be a-okay are kidding themselves. You need to get yourself ready for what is happening and accept the fact that things are going to be a little tumultuous over the course of, let's just say, starting in the next 6 months through the next year or so. Now, who else is going to have earnings problems? Okay? Google may have an antitrust lawsuit that they have to deal with. Is that going to affect them? Are you going to buy into the Google stock split? Google, if you were a shareholder of record through Friday the 15th and you own one share of Google, when you wake up on Monday morning, it'll be divided by 20 and you will have 20 shares and the stock price will be divided by 20. When they announced this, the stock was over $3,000 and today it's at what, 22 something? Would you buy that? Would you buy that? I don't know if I would. Amazon stock split didn't work out so well for its subscribers and its potential shareholders. Spotify, same thing. But would you do this? Would you buy that? Would you buy into that stock split? Wholesale inflation was up to 11.1%. Now again, I get a kick out of this. Regular inflation, guys, remember, it's only at 9.1%, but the wholesale level is up above 11%, and it's not supposed to be realistically 20%. Do you know in the 1970s, the highest that the inflation level got was 14%? They do not figure inflation the same way now. Hey, fuel fluctuates, it goes up and down, and food goes up and down. No, guys, everything. I get people that write me and send me pictures of empty store shelves and prices that are sky high, and it's absolutely insane what people are paying for things right now when it comes to food and fuel and what people are going through there. But wholesale inflation is up at 11.1%, and we're supposed to celebrate this because it's great, it's fantastic, there's no problem, and you guys are kidding yourself. I think inflation is well above the 14% record in the 70s. Nobody wants to admit that. Nobody wants to talk about that. But you guys are buying things. And let's just use car prices, guys. Car prices are going to, well, Dan, it's the, are you stupid? It's the chip shortage. That's why things have gone up. Oh, okay. Okay. You guys want to buy a car? Go to a retirement community. Look at people that are elderly that may not be able to drive anymore and watch them unload their cars. We have a place called Leisure World here, and people, great place to buy cars. Family members have done it forever because people are retiring, and or you may not be able to have the ability to drive, and you get really good deals on used cars. And grandpa serviced it and drove it, has a 12-year-old car with 60,000 miles on it. Things like that, okay? Be creative when it comes to this stuff, because you just don't open Craigslist and say there's no good deals out there. You're right, there's not. You have to do work, okay? So share your thoughts on this stuff, guys. I really think that we're, at a real turning point right now. But the repos, and the problem with the repos is a very telling sign of how bad things are, because people have no money. People are desperate, and people say things like, oh honey, we can afford this payment. We can do this. We'll make it. You can work some overtime. We'll make it, Yeah, the insurance is going to be more, but we can do it. Guys, the number one thing that breaks up relationships, whether you're married or not, whatever, is money problems. And you're going to see this happen again. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. Let me know what you're thinking about this. Let me know if you're seeing this. And again, no one cares what you drive. I live in a community of people that, image is everything. And I've told you this, guys, people that make $250,000 a year, more, $300,000 a year. And these people are broke because they're financed to the hilt. And if something goes wrong, you see it. And again, like the Lamborghini we saw, where the guy, the registration was 4 months old. Here's the thing. In California, they have rules about the registration. If your registration's expired, they'll pull you over for that and write you a ticket. If the registration, it used to be 4 months. If you're 4 months behind, they would say, hey, listen, we could potentially impound the car. And if you are a degenerate, or you're rude, or you're speeding, or anything like that, it just gives them a reason to do it. Well, now it's 6 months mandatory. If you're 6 months behind in the registration of your car in California, I've spoken to city police, I've spoken to highway patrolmen. They say we have to take the car. We have no choice now but to take the car in. So if you guys think you're just going to drive the car for a year or two and not pay the registration, it's done. Days are done, guys. So let me know what you guys think about all this stuff. Now, with this latest inflation numbers, we're getting really, really consistent news now from these different world leaders. The head of the International Monetary Fund is calling for a recession, and it could happen between now and a year from now, a global recession. Well, as she talked about this, she's also talking about how people need to prepare themselves, because this is going to be a very dark time. Well, we are in a recession, guys, and we're going to go into a depression. That's what I think. And it's just not gloom and doom Danny, it's just what's, happening. Janet Yellen steps forward, and Janet Yellen says, it's surprising how bad the inflationary numbers are. Now remember, this is the woman that just a few months ago was talking about transitory and how great things were, and that, we're gonna pull ourselves out of this, and we're gonna figure out a way, and this won't end, and we've peaked, and all that stuff. Now it's alarming and disturbing, were the two quotes and the two words that she used, because it is alarming and disturbing. If you guys buy, let me make a list. How about anything, then you know that it's gone up in price. Christopher Waller is a Fed Board of Governor, okay? He is talking about how last week he was talking about a 0.75% rise. We may have to kick it up to 1 point. I don't even think that's gonna do it, guys. So I think it needs to be done, but a 1% rise in interest rates, they're talking about this, and will that do it? You guys know the answer to that. We were talking about inflation earlier, we were talking about Costco. Since 1985, Costco has had that $1.50 hot dog and a 20-ounce drink for $1.50. And that has stood the test of everything, guys. And Costco announced all their price increases, and that horrible hot dog and those Pepsi products are still going to be $1.50. So again, someday they'll have unsweetened iced tea for the rest of us, and maybe they'll have a Diet Coke in there too someday. But $1.50 you can get yourself a sugary drink and a hot dog with packaged condiments. The next thing is Australia. Australian real estate is having a problem because, hey, don't worry, the investors are going to buy everything. You don't have to worry about it. Well, wait a second. It's not the case. And all these investors are not always paying cash. In fact, they're having a real problem with Chinese investors turning away from Australian real estate right now. Great article below talking about how, I think we'll pass. So I think that's what you're going to hear a lot of right now. Now, I'm trying to remember what this reminded me of, and talking to the investor today, he was saying this is a lot like 2006 when some people had it good and some people were like, uh-oh, trouble's coming. It's kind of like that right now. But speaking of Australian real estate, the big problem with Australia right now is that, I love these, home vendors, which we would call real estate agents, are in a desperate state to get people into contract so they can unload inventory. I love you, Australian friends. One of my good friends from Australia is coming to the States next week, and I can't wait to talk to him. But guys, there's no unloading real estate. The Australians have a huge problem, and they know it. And the people that haven't unloaded their houses yet, they know that they have a problem. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. Remember, China and the corporate investors, we're going to buy everything around the world. You know, don't worry. Nothing is safe. It's going to be bought by all the different investment companies. No, it's not. It's not. The price is too high. The interest rates are too high. We are seeing fixed rate mortgages go up an absolute ton. What do? Let me ask you this. You guys refinance your house at 3%. Seriously, you're going to unload that house? Why would you do that? Why would you get rid of the house? Well, we want to move to a better school district. We just refinanced it to get ourselves into something better, Dan, and just to have a better payment and pay off some bills. But you're going to take that 3% loan and jump to 5, 6, 7%. Today, the investor was talking about 8% mortgages are coming right around the corner. 60 days from now is what he anticipates. So you can say that he's an imbecile. You can say whatever you want. But do you think that we're going to see interest rates like that again? Because I do. I think we're going to see some crazy, crazy stuff. But people are going to have to weigh the decision. Well, you know what? Why don't we stay here? And guys, around the world, this is happening. It's not just here. And here's the thing. The depression that's coming, what industries are going to be good? What industries are not going to be good? What can you guys do to trim your costs right now and to save money and to make money in alternative ways right now? Seriously, that's what you need to be looking at. That's going to be the future. That's what's going to make people a fortune. Multiple income streams, selling their knowledge, selling their passion, whether you hunt, fish, whatever you do, there's people that will buy that knowledge right now. Share your thoughts on this stuff, guys, because I love that the Janet Yellens of the world are starting to say, oh, there's a problem. So Grandma Yellen, and everybody hates when I say that, Grandma Yellen is now saying that there's a problem. What are they going to do about it right now? What are they going to do to fix interest rates right now and fix inflation right now? Because wishing it away has proven to be non-effective. And it's only getting worse right now as we sit around and speak. Oh, it's a really peaceful spot, don't you guys think? It's really nice. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. I love when I get great stories sent to me from around the world. James from Canada, his wife is a food buyer, and Canada is anticipating another potato shortage, just like they had, remember the fry shortage earlier this year? Well, it's coming back, guys, and they blamed it on a potato wart problem from a shipper, but it's kind of interesting. Here's some stats. You know, we produced $4 billion worth of potatoes last year. $4 billion. I mean, that's crazy when you think about that here in the United States. And Canada wouldn't accept our exports, or their imports, our exports of potatoes. And they're anticipating a big potato shortage coming to Canada, and the food buyers are being notified about this earlier. And again, another warning that you need to get food because they're talking about shortages. Well, what's in a potato? Everything. I mean, think about what's made with a potato, okay? And you just research that and it'll make you stock up on everything. Now, one thing we talked about late last year was the Subway sandwich shop had a lawsuit where 2 women in Alameda County said that the tuna was not real tuna, and they filed in district court and wanted class action status and all this stuff. Well, the case got dismissed, but the case is back now. And think about this. It's called Tunagate. Tunagate is back. I love this story because these women supplied 20 samples of tuna for the lawsuit and sent them to different food labs from around here in Southern California, from my area. And they came back and said that 11 of the samples had chicken in them. Now, for you non-pork eaters, you'll be happy to hear about this. There was 8 of them that had pork in it. And the rest were beef, but no discernible tuna DNA, which again, I love the term tuna DNA. Now, I have a friend, Jeff, who's brilliant, who his family is in the seafood industry, and Jeff is the guru of seafood, to say the least. And Jeff says, Dan, I know the supplier of these people. It's 100% tuna. So that being said,
I'm looking at it.
That being said, that this guy says that it's tuna. So the lawsuit's going to go forward. These women were dismissed from the case because they said that they had no damages. But the problem and the thing that got to go forward was that of the tests that they sent forward, the majority of it did not have tuna in the test. So who knew? Share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. I love stuff like this. I think it's funny, but Tunagate is back. So buy potatoes and buy real tuna. And again, I haven't eaten at Subway since for this very reason. And now Tunagate's back. I'm going to finish this video with one last story, but before I do, there's a couple things I wanted to add in regards to cars. One thing that is crazy right now, guys, is dealer markup. And Chris sent me great photos of BMW and the problems that they have and why people are buying Teslas over BMWs. And I can't say the words that Chris used in his email, and he knows what I'm talking about, but here's a picture for you. It's a beautiful SUV. That's a BMW. It's a nice looking car, man. It's good looking. But there's a $15,000 dealer markup on the car, plus a protectant that's like $2,000, okay, to cover this. That's insane, guys. This is nuts. This is why people don't buy cars, and this is why people hate car dealers and car salespeople, because of stuff like this. Now, the other thing, when it comes to repossessions, one thing I forgot to say earlier in this video that you guys have to be aware of is that right now, people that repossess cars have got some really sophisticated stuff. And that is, they've got cameras that can basically read license plates. And I remember seeing this about 3 years ago and asked these guys, because I thought these guys were stealing a car. They just drove by, stopped, and hooked it up and took off. And they drove by and were checking license plates, and were checking to see if they could figure out who had the loan, who they had the loans with, and if they were behind, and then picked up cars. It's that simple. So, guys, this is something that if you are behind in your car payment, they just drive by and they read your license plate, and they can determine that really quickly. Very, very simple for them to do that. Now, the final thing is Texas. Texas is having rolling blackouts. We had them here in Southern California a few years ago, and that's because of our ridiculous power grid and the fact that they haven't updated it in forever. And you guys remember hearing about the fires and all that stuff that we had, where everything burnt down to the ground because of old wires and things like that in Northern California. Well, Texas is experiencing that with their power grid, and they're saying that they could have rolling blackouts. So what that is you pay your electric bill, irrelevant. Your entire city could get shut off. A grid could just get shut down for no reason. Now, here's the sickest part of this whole thing. Tesla owners are asked not to charge your cars between the hours of 4 and 8 in certain areas of Texas because it's a drain on the power grid. Huh? I mean, you guys, this is ridiculous now. Now it's getting to be a total joke. Imagine if you said to somebody, hey, listen, don't pump your gas between 4 and 8 because it's going to put a strain on the power grid. You tell people to pound sand. So, but you're not allowed to charge your electric cars during that time. This is lunacy now, guys. We're not equipped to do this yet. It's just that simple. So, enjoy your 10,000 miles a year in your Tesla car with your lease, which is, again, 29 miles a day. Enjoy that, okay? I drove like 180 today for doing nothing, just all over the place. So please do not forget to hit the like button. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget that we've got the email list you can sign up for. If you want more exclusive content, there's Patreon. And also don't forget Webull. One of the last chances to get yourself a free Webull account and get some free stock. Take a look at the link below. Okay, onward and upward, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you very soon.